Did you know? Let's go.
You've waited all week.
Every week, we continue to learn how to achieve a better back and ultimately better health.
Live in the WIKB studios, this is Dr. Larry.
Well, thank you. Clinton and Flex Pastor Reed. Hello again, everybody. Okay, let's get it started. Well, as you know, every show builds on the next. Every week, we continue to learn how to achieve a better back and ultimately better health. Now, in case any of you missed it, last time we talked about tools. It was an important week to be tuned in because we learned and defined about a special tool to help reduce your low back pain because, let's face it, sitting can cause it to strain. So, here it is again. Sit versus stand. Which one makes you feel solid like a rock or like quicksand? Your back depends on you knowing the difference and expects you to take command. So in that last show was for all you 30-year-old and on who are still in the workforce humming along. Do you sit for your job all day versus stand? And what's that doing to your lower back? And a great solution for you to get things back on track. Take a listen. A middle-aged male recently checked himself into my office with wonderful news. See, his low back, though, was singing the blues. His job as a software engineer was making his back begin to glare because all those hours of sitting on a chair. So he asked me several months back, what can I do for my back? And that's where the story begins, because I want you to score some wins. But let's first get some context. Here is the sit-uation, unpacking the effects of prolonged sitting on your lower spine. In today's world, sitting is more than just an activity. It's practically a way of life, from long hours spent hunched over computers to Netflix marathons and endless commutes. Sitting has become the modern posture of choice. But beneath this seemingly innocuous act lies a significant problem. Prolonged sitting is a serious offender when it comes to wreaking havoc on your lower spine. But let's be real. Prolonged sitting turns your spine into a drama queen. After a few hours in your chair, it's like your lumbar region starts yelling, "Is this a joke? Can you move already?" And then you finally stand up and you resemble a robot from the 1980s sci-fi movie, creaking and groaning as you attempt to straighten up. And modern culture, of course, doesn't help us. We've invented entire industries around making sitting more comfortable. Ergonomic chairs, bean bags, had somebody buy one actually, recliner, enablers, this toxic relationship. And sure, they feel great for the moment, but they're doing long-term damage to your spine. Take my word for it. If your lower back could talk, it would probably say this: I'm not mad, just a little disappointed with you. So let's start listening to those subtle hints before your spine files an official complaint. And we'll dive a little deeper into this story of yours and your back. Let's go over a little bit of the anatomy of sitting and how the spine works. It's a marvel of biological engineering. The human spine is a masterpiece. This S-shaped column vertebrae is designed to support the weight of your body while maintaining flexibility for movement. It consists of 33 bones or vertebrae interspersed with discs that act like cushions. Ligaments, tendons, and muscles surround the structure, helping to stabilize and move. Now, a quick comment about these ligaments. It's not one of those things that people come into my office, or I'm sure other chiropractors' offices, or doctors' offices, or physical therapy, they go like, hey, I hurt my back, and I think it's a ligament problem. Mostly it's, am I out of joint? Do I need an adjustment? This muscle's tight. This nerve hurts. Rarely is it my ligament is the issue. But ligaments inside the spine are the ones that really are almost the closest and next main offender when it comes to sitting. They crimp, they harden, they buckle, and so the ligaments inside your spinal canal tend to start screaming and talking almost sometimes first. Yeah, your back gets tight, the muscles for sure. Sometimes the nerve gets a little irritated. Many times, too, the ligament is kind of the hidden little guy in there that's causing some problems. So they can be a source of pain. And those of you who've heard, we talked about this before, but when I was invited over to Mayo Clinic a couple of years ago, it was actually the ligament discussion in the lower spine that caught this doctor's attention. And we had a long, robust discussion, which ended up turning into a radio show and me interviewing a doctor about this little special device he uses to take chunks of ligament out of the spine without it doing it invasively. So turn into a whole discussion and a show, etc. But back to our sitting. Now, your discs, though, are the unsung heroes. They sit there, they squeeze, they compress, and they try to withstand all the stress from you sitting. Research conducted by Anderson and Ortengren in 1974 demonstrated that sitting increases the load on the lumbar spine by up to 40% compared to standing. This is largely due to the forward-leaning posture, which many people have when they sit, or better known as slouching. Ergonomic studies reveal that slouching while sitting increases pressure within your disc by as much as 200% compared to lying flat. I know you can't lie flat when you're working, for the most part, unless you're on a creeper and you're a mechanic. So the pressure wears down on the vertebrae, and these accelerated conditions can cause problems like herniated disc, dried up discs, achy breaky backs, etc. Then there's muscle imbalances and core connection as well too. And your buttocks, your hinder, can sometimes go into amnesia, and this can have a direct impact. You sit on your buns, and all of a sudden your glutes get weak. They get the no butt syndrome, like a lot of guys have, and then all of a sudden now you got some back problems as well too. So they get lazy over time. And here's some common sense observations that you can make, and that common sense word's going to come back again towards the end of the show. Everyday signs you're sitting too much, besides just knowing that you're sitting too much. Stiffness after sitting, after binge watching your favorite series. Standing up feels like unfolding a rusty lawn chair. Your lower back feels tight, muscles are reluctant to move. Poor posture becomes habitual. Hunching over a desk or slouching on a couch eventually feels natural. And I'm already scolding some of my kids still. Stop slouching. So yes, it even happens at Dr. Larry's house as well too, slouching. I'm not slouching right now though while I'm doing the show. I've got good upright posture. Let me take a look at Reed. Nope, he's not slouching. Reed's doing good. Also, you can have some localized pain. Persistent aches in your lumbar region are a clear indicator that you are having sitting problems as well. Long-term consequences, well, chronic low back pain, of course, degenerative disc disease, or DDD for short. You'll see that in some of your MRI films or your X-ray reports. Stenosis. In fact, I've got to send a guy out for surgery for that coming up because his canal is so narrowed up. And in this case, I wasn't able to fix him. Tried everything else, shots, etc., medications, therapy. And so he's going to get his stenosis taken care of. But it can narrow up the canal where the nerves are as well, too. And this is all from sitting. This is the situation. Get how I did that? And here are the scientific and physiologic impact of prolonged sittings in the lower spine. It can bum you out. I was going to hesitate saying this, but I'll say it anyway. They call it the new smoking. I don't know. I'll just say it anyway, but you get the point. It can cause some issues that, and with 80% of us plus, they experience some type of back or spine issues down the road or nerve issues as well, too. It's a deal. And based on biomechanics of the spine, on research is conducted, and I've even done shows on that as well, too, how the discs get loaded and what happens and the pain, etc. And so that's what can happen over time. Your nerves get compressed. Your arteries, your veins can get crimped and compressed. You can get tightening in your piriformis muscle. What's that? It's a deep muscle inside your hinder again there that hovers over the sciatic nerve. It can impair oxygenation to your lower extremities, cause some slower healing, etc. So this is all venous insufficiency, reduced nutrient delivery, cold number feet. I guess I'm rolling through these just because it's a review and it's not a full show. But I want to get your palate wet and satisfied with what's going on with sitting. You can get anterior pelvic tilt. You'll hear that often at chiropractors and physical therapy office. You can get overload problems with the special muscles that hold your spine upright, and reduced metabolic activity. Again, rolling through inflammatory responses can increase, and the list goes on and on. And arthritis can also be a thing. And so sitting, it's a thing for your back that can cause some issues. I touched on some cardiovascular problems as well, too. But going back to our software engineer, he did something that was a piece of advice that I gave him, and he ran with it. And, let's say probably mid to late 30s, maybe early 40s, guessing his age. And so he'd been in his career for 15, 20 years. And no real other issues going on other than basic stuff. But his back just started getting more chronic and more chronic and more chronic. And I said, I want you to try this. And he did one thing, some exercises and stretches, of course. And I said, but we got to do an ergonomic fix. And here is the ergonomic fix that I gave him. And he came back in. He said, Dr. Larry, you can use me as a model example to tell people to do and use this. A standing desk. I said, go out and buy a standing desk, use it, and let me know how it goes. Fast forward 6 months, he goes, best investment ever made for the type of job I have. And then he took it one step further. He added a walking treadmill underneath there, too. And then a little, I don't know if you call it recumbent bike, but something to pedal as well. So while he's doing some remedial tasks, he can just kind of sit there and pedal his legs while he's when he had decided to sit, that's when you had to go back. So you want to keep moving. That's right. That's what he did. But he switched to the walking treadmill. I don't know how. That's like walking and chewing gum, but times 10. I don't know how he focuses while he's on a treadmill, but I'm sure people can do it. Best I can do is like listen to music or a podcast or something like that. But anyway, the standing desk is what was revolutionary. He says my back pain is down to a minimum, and it stayed that way. And he's a science guy, so he was thinking. I know he was analytically thinking this, going, okay, is this really going to work for me, and how does it work? And I'm sure he went through his own vetting process and didn't elaborate that on that for me. But the bottom line is the standing desk was the tool. And I want to pass that on to you because still I'll ask people who sit for a living, I'll say, do you have a standing desk? And they'll go, no, I didn't even think about getting one. Or I heard our friend has one. I know this somebody else has one. They really like it. And they work well. I think you get them for around $200 now. They're not that expensive, and they're built pretty solid. My wife actually built me a custom standing desk in my treatment room, which is fantastic. So I don't even have a place to really sit and do office work inside my treatment room. So I'm always standing, and I'm working on people standing with a couple of exceptions as well, too. So in one sense, I can't feel your pain because I don't sit all day long. But when I do have to sit, I feel your pain, like doing paperwork. And I go, oh, I feel bad for people that have to sit. What's the solution? A standing desk. So sit versus stand, which one makes you feel like solid or like quicksand? Your back depends on you knowing the difference and expects you to take command. So that show is for all you 30-year-old plusers, and it can be for anybody, of course. So just pick the demographic. And a standing desk can make your back not feel weak but strong. There was more. However, if you missed that entire show and want to be logged onto my website, drlarryradio.com, hit the subscribe button, the links, and listen to the show now. It will be uploaded, which you can listen to at your leisure as a podcast. And here's the final point. If you are a chronic sitter at work, just remember to buy a standing desk so your back doesn't get bitter. Oh, I blew the rhyme, Reed. Oh, party foul on that one. I can't believe it. Now, beyond that, in addition to the stand the man, last week we learned a simple self-test. I feel like I had to redeem myself on that one. For a Baker's cyst. It was another Dr. Larry cool tool, and you can call my office for a freebie reminder just in case you're in need of a retip or a tip up. And so that was last time. Hi-ya. Now today we'll forget that monologue for a moment and keep remembering those mandatory communication skills all doctors must have, which are inquisitive listening and staying positive. Again, it often means the difference between sick and well. Also, it's another month of the year, so let's keep our shoulders in gear. So in our tip and trick segment today, we're going to learn a simple self-test for bursitis of the shoulder. And of course, you, Rito Dorito, are calling it out right from the broadcast booth while we crank up the tunes, and I hit the center stage for the demo. However, before all that, in order to have good health, you don't need a lot of wealth. So let's flex our forebrain, put some knowledge to the game, because today we're going to talk about, hit it, Pearl.
Dr. Larry brings you another segment of Did You Know?
Irony. Ironic. Takes on various forms, but generally involves a situation or expression that is contrary to what is anticipated, often producing humor, surprise, or critical insight. Bet you didn't know that knowing what irony is could be that deep. Or that light. For examples, a chiropractor who has a bad back. Isn't that ironic? Or how about a dentist that gets a cavity? There's some irony in that one. Or how about a doctor who gets sick? Cough, sniffle, flu. Doctors can't get sick. They do. Isn't that ironic? They're supposed to go to them for you to get better, but they get sick. Supposed to get you to go to a chiropractor for your back, but he's got a bad back, or she. So understanding irony enhances both creative thinking and critical thinking as well. And it invites deeper explanation of meaning and intention. So for today's show, we're going to go over irony in healthcare. I'm going to run through some scenarios, and the purpose is to put a light on how certain things are so ironic. And if you ponder on the irony that happens in healthcare, then you will most likely, hopefully, be able to glean a little bit more deeper information to help yourself out. Irony in healthcare coming up when we get back from the break. Stay tuned. You're listening to the Dr. Larry Radio Show. We'll be right back.
Dr. Larry will be back in a moment.
Shop local. Make your money mean more when you support these local businesses.
Are you waking up feeling worse than when you went to bed? Get yourself a new mattress from West End Home Furnishings, downtown Iron River. We have many comfort levels available, and we'll help you find the perfect mattress just for you. West End Home Furnishings, come find your inspiration.
Wild Rivers Realty is now Stevens Real Estate. Same trusted local people now in Iron Mountain, Florence, and Iron River. Over $100 million in sales in 2023. Let us find your dream home.
True Recycling of Caspian, Michigan. Buyers of copper, aluminum, brass, and other recyclable metals. Check them out on Facebook or at truerecycling.com, 906-265-9262. True Recycling, saving the planet, 1 ton at a time.
Reach thousands of local listeners for one low price. Join the Business Update. Call WIKB at 906-265-9622 to learn more.
Did you know that there are different types of coughs? Is your cough dry and scratchy or wet and sticky? You are unique, and so are your symptoms. I'm local master herbalist Karen Mallinger, and I address the common cough in different ways. There are different types of coughs, and you can't use the same herb for both. Call me today at 844-HERBGAL or go to the website at, you guessed it, herbgal.org, and let's get better.
This is Lois from Crystal Falls, and you're listening to Dr. Larry Radio.
Your healthcare should be about what's best for you. Yet too often, healthcare professionals focus on keeping patients within their system, including who they refer you to. I'm Dr. Jason Klein, orthopedic surgeon and physician owner at OSMS. You should be seen by who you want, and you can be. At OSMS, our focus is on providing you with the highest quality of care in a safe environment. The best part is, you usually don't need a referral for orthopedic care. Learn more at askforosms.com.
I would never recommend buying a home without having the water tested first. It's cool, it's clear, it looks clean. Oh, it tastes good. Well, what's really in it? And we just recommend that you check it out. I'm Jennifer Toivonen. I'm a co-lab director at Whitewater Associates of AMISA. Coliform bacteria, lead, arsenic, nitrates. You want to be sure that water is safe. I would recommend giving us a call. That way we can tailor the kit that we send to you for what you need. 906-822-7889. Give us a call.
Break's over. Time to get cracking once again with Dr. Larry.
Welcome back. So I had a patient in recently. Listen to this. He told me, quote, I follow my doctor's advice to the T. I do everything they tell me to do, and I do it. I figure they're trained to know what to do, and why would I not follow their advice perfectly? In fact, it's why I'm living with this organ condition and not dead because of that. So I thought that was fairly wise, a noble statement, and I agreed. He had a life-threatening organ condition, and the experts are supposed to be that. Follow their advice, proves that their expertise is valid, and why then inject your own ideas, thoughts, and advice when it comes to seeking your doctor? That's why they're there. But there's a problem. What was the reason why and how he got this potentially fatal organ condition? It was because he followed to the T his doctor's advice in the first place. How ironic. So there are a lot of ironies in healthcare. Some are humorous, like a dentist with bad teeth, but a great dentist, or a doctor in poor health, but a great doctor that can help you out with your health get better. And to some extent, we can just acknowledge them, chuckle a bit, move on with life. They're ironies. They're ironic. There's even a song from the 90s about that I will not sing for you. I'm a terrible singer. However, identifying certain ironies can help induce critical thinking and invite deeper exploration of meaning and gain further facts and more. So I'm going to help you out today by giving you a list of some questions I ask patients purposely to expose potential ironies, to gain facts, draw conclusions, and more. While we're thinking about this, and before I get into it, there are several types of ironies, each serving a distinct purpose in communication, in literature. I have a turtleneck on today with a sport coat. I feel very professor-like, Reed. And storytelling. Here's some types. Here's verbal irony. And definition would be when someone says something but means something opposite. For example, a person steps into a storm and says, "What lovely weather we're having." Purpose is for some sarcasm, some humor, or emphasis. Then there's situational irony. This is one we mostly focused on today. Definition is when there's a stark difference between what is expected to happen and what actually occurs. Example, a fire station burns down. This highlights the unpredictability of life and often invokes a little bit of surprise. I can't believe a fire station burned down. Should they be able to get rid of it? Again, these are just examples. There's dramatic irony when an audience or reader knows something that the character's not. So in Shakespeare, Romeo and Juliet, the audience knows Juliet is alive, but Romeo believes she's dead. And the purpose, it creates tension and engagement as the audience anticipates the character's reactions. So irony is used in literature for depth, humor, dramatic tension as a narrative, in everyday speech to express humor, sarcasm, critical commentary, and in media and art to provoke thought, challenge assumptions, or to even entertain. The situational irony in healthcare is what I want to focus on today. And I'm going to get a little bit more into the examples, what I'm talking about. How about a sleep aid that causes insomnia? A person takes a medication designed to help them sleep, but one of the common side effects is insomnia, which exacerbates the very problem it was meant to treat. How about heartburn medication leading to stomach pain? Treatment for acid reflux worsens gastrointestinal discomfort instead of alleviating it. Then there's some verbal irony, like a commercial claim on a medication is the, quote, perfect solution, but lists a long list of severe side effects, such as increased risk of heart attack or stroke. So the perfect solution tagline is ironic because the side effect makes it seem far from perfect. So patient will say, "Oh, great, just what I needed." And they read the warning label or they hear the long list of side effects. There's dramatic irony. A patient believes they're recovering because of a prescribed medication, but in a sense, they were given a placebo. So the patient's confidence contrasts with the audience or the person's awareness of the truth, often creating kind of an effect that's ironic. So I'm whetting your palate here to heighten your awareness of some inherent ironies that exist. I'm going to draw now more a specific example in the irony of osteoporosis medication causing bone decay in the jaw. Osteoporosis is a condition characterized by weak and brittle bones, which many of you know, making individuals more susceptible to fractures. Medications to combat osteoporosis are prescribed to strengthen bone density and reduce the effects of fractures. However, an ironic and unsettling phenomenon associated with some of these medications is their potential to cause osteonecrosis of the jaw, a condition where the jawbone begins to decay. So the most commonly prescribed medications for osteoporosis are Fosamax and some other ones as well too. And they work by inhibiting the activity of your bone breaking down effect, the cells responsible for bone resorption. And they suppress the formation of the chemical that your body kind of naturally does to shed bones, is the best way I can say it. While these medications are very effective at preventing bone density loss in their body, their mechanisms can paradoxically, so we're going to infuse that a little bit in the discussion as well too, contribute to bone damage in the jaw under certain circumstances. So the irony lies in the medication's primary purpose. They're designed to protect and strengthen bones, yet they can inadvertently lead to death of the jawbone tissue. And I don't know if you've ever known somebody that's had this, but the jawbone, once that bone gets weak and dies off, that's not something you can just recreate. So the irony is that you're building bone the rest of your body and you're killing off your jaw in certain situations where patients have this happen to them. In normal conditions, bone tissue undergoes constant remodeling where old bone is replaced with new. Osteoporosis medications suppress this turnover to prevent bone loss, but the suppression can impair the jawbone's ability to repair itself, especially after trauma like a dental extraction. That's why dentists always ask this question. In fact, some of them step it up and go, I won't handle this until you get off the medication. I've heard them take a real strong stance. Or someone go, well, I don't recommend that medication for you. See if your doctor has something else. So dentists kind of vary overall in their opinions of this, but by and large, they know what this medication can do to a jaw. There's high bone turnover in your jaw. So again, I'm just kind of magnifying a little bit of the irony in one medication, and I'm going to kind of circle back around for you to make a more of a point here. But I want you to kind of get this deep effect. So you can also have infections because of the jawbone dying, so it can lead to even some other issues as well too, and a delay in healing. Then patients taking osteoporosis medication often feel reassured they're proactively safeguarding their bone health, and the irony emerges when these treatments intended to prevent the fractures do this unexpected risks. So the medication then, to strengthen, causes things in the body to lead to pain, difficulty eating, in severe cases, surgical intervention in the jaw. There's the emotional irony component of this as well too. Patients seeking to improve their quality of life may experience new complications that diminish it. So there's an emotional irony in there as well too from this specific medication, which leads into other ironies as well too. So the occurrence of this, of course, is rare. And when it comes to osteoporosis medications used as prescribed, these benefits must outweigh the consequences, and then you make an informed decision. And that's kind of the point that I'm starting to draw on for you. Now, I want you to think about this one, kind of a little back from my backyard. If you have a tight muscle in your lower back, the more you stretch, the tighter it gets. The question would be why? Now, there's a little paradox in there as well, too, but it's an ironic show, so let's keep it going with ironies. Let's go back to medications. Thalidomide, tragedy in the 1950s and 60s. Thalidomide was marketed as a safe sedative and treatment for morning sickness in pregnant women. Tragically, it led to severe birth defects in thousands of children, highlighting a devastating situational irony where a drug intended to promote health caused significant harm. There's an irony there. Now, I'm going to run down a list of questions that I ask, and this is what I really want you to pay attention to, because you need to ask these questions, because I'm not always going to be there with you or on the radio with you, and it's going to help you get to further discussion with your healthcare practitioner. So I'm going to run down a list of some things that I routinely ask patients, including the one you just heard, and I do it all day, every day when it's necessary, to expose ironies. For example, number one, patient tells me they visited their cardiologist. I ask, did they check your heart out? Patient tells me they'd seen their primary care doctor and had x-rays taken before coming to see me. My question is, did you see your x-rays? So x-rays are meant to see what's going on the inside, but if you never saw your x-rays, then you only know what's going on the outside. Isn't that ironic? Patient has a slip and fall and goes to the emergency department. Afterward, they come to see me because they're in pain. I ask, did they examine the area in which you're having pain? Wouldn't it be ironic that you go for a slip and fall to the ER with pain, but the area wasn't evaluated? So I ask. So these simple little questions seem so innocently practical, but there's a reason why I ask those questions, and that's why I'm telling you today. And if you're listening, you can use this as a tool to expose ironies, which, as you heard at the top of the show, helps deeper critical thinking to get ultimately what you want is right diagnosis, right treatment plan. That's all what this is. This isn't to poke or make fun. This isn't meant to show, how smart I am or you are, or to demean anybody. No, this is just a tool, and a very effective tool to use, because it boils down to a very important component that is lost when it comes to figuring out your problems. All right. Back to the guy that I opened with, and we got to take a break here in just a minute. And I'm just using him as an example because it was recent and it's fresh in my mind. He comes in with severe pain, burning, numbing down into his leg and foot. It's been debilitating. He's seen specialists. He's been to his primary care, who, quote unquote, said he's running out of tools in his toolbox. and doesn't know what to do with the patient. So he said that he just decided that he wanted to come see me, and so I listened to his pain problem and situation, and I'm going to tell you now how I put this into motion in real life, as I've done with some of the other examples, that you can do as well too. My first question, for the most part, when I was trying to get down to the information, I asked some other questions, was, did they examine your foot and leg? Answer, actually, no, not really. They just looked at it. So my question was based on the irony that the patient had leg pain, and one great tool is to examine the leg, but the leg was never examined. That would be a situational irony. When there's a stark difference between what is expected, you expect when somebody with radiating pain for 2+ years going out into the leg and the foot and numb, and to the point where he's limping, it's debilitating, and you would expect that the leg would have been looked at and examined. So that's the expectation. But when there's a stark difference between what's expected and what actually occurs, that's the situational irony that I'm talking about. So after long, prolonged kind of initial consultation, that's how I started the questions. And that's what you need to be thinking about too when you're going to see your healthcare practitioners. You've got all this going on, and it cuts through a lot of the ambiguity, and it makes it so simple to ask the question. You've got leg pain. You've got a heart condition. There's a situation where you've got fill in the blank. Did the practitioner look at that area or examine it? Here's some other examples of irony. A poor couple sacrifices their most prized possession to buy gifts for each other, only to find the gifts rendered useless. The wife sells her hair to buy her husband a watch chain, and he sells his watch to buy her combs for her hair. It's a literature irony right there. Just fun. You heard the Shakespeare one. How about this one? How about a free ride when you've already paid? I think I've had that one before. I think I've paid for something when it was actually free. I think that's happened. And how about this, from Alanis Morissette, all right, I gave her a plug. It's like rain on your wedding day. Or when you need a spoon and you go in the drawer and there's 1,000 knives. How about the Titanic? This is a real one in history. This is a irony from history. Billed as unsinkable, the Titanic sank on its maiden voyage. So this is a contrast between the confidence in the design and the tragic outcome that highlights a profound situational irony. So irony is everywhere. And the problem is that it, in one sense, can be kind of laughable in certain situations. Isn't that ironic, right? However, when it comes to healthcare, certain ironies can really, really get unexposed and not derailed. So that's the point that I'm trying to make here. Okay. I'm going to circle back around to a show I did a couple of weeks ago. And I'm going to reveal to you the reason why I did it. And it has to do with being ironic. And it involves a very simple thing that you can do to help your overall health. Not even a chiropractic adjustment. That's not what I'm talking about here. But I want to go over that with you, spend the last segment to reveal to you what the show was, why I did it, what the irony was in it, and what you can do to apply it. It's coming up after the break. This is Dr. Larry on WIKB. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back with Dr. Larry.
The inspiration for everything I do is bratwurst. I like bratwurst. The truth is, if you take my name, Kolbis, and you put it in Polish, it means kielbasa, which means sausage. Hi, my name is Pete Kolbis, and I am the meat manager at Family Foods, but more than that, I am the best-looking person in Iron County. We love using telephone time. It's done a great job for our business. It's really created more business. It's gotten us out there further. I like working with WIKB. I enjoy our friendship, the camaraderie, and all the things they bring to the table for us. They really work with me on all different things. Buckskin Bob, everything I've asked for them has really worked out great for us. I enjoy working with them, and I'm looking forward to working with them in the future.
Everyone has advice when you are ready to list your home for sale. But for professional advice, ask a RE/MAX North Country agent. RE/MAX, the most trusted name in real estate. Visit RE/MAX.com. The right agent can lead the way.
Here's your Iron River and surrounding area forecast. Slight chance for snow showers this afternoon. Otherwise, cloudy skies expected. High temperatures reach up to 25. Northwesterly winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Cloudy again tonight. Lows dip down to about 8 above. About an inch of snow today with another dusting tomorrow. From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki on WIKB. Currently, it's 25 degrees.
This is Mason from Iron River, and you're listening to Dr. Larry Radio.
Jensen Akins of Conover is hiring. Join our team in a fun, fast-paced, and professional environment of hardworking people that enjoy serving the Northwoods area with the very best selection of appliance products in the North. Help us give Northern homeowners their dream appliances and have fun at the same time. Sales experience is helpful but not necessary. We will train the right candidate. Stop by or call today to set up an interview for this rewarding opportunity.
Hello, baby! Sammy Hagar's Top Rock Countdown is Saturday nights on 99.1 FM.
Rockin' the
Actually, it's UP, Sammy, like Upper Peninsula.
Well.
Yeah, but anyway, tune in at 5 p.m. on Saturdays.
Oh, yeah.
For 2 hours of the Red Rocker counting down his favorite classic rock with themes like best album openers, best B-sides, best solo artists. Every week is something new.
Don't miss it.
And if you do miss it, the Sunday afternoon rerun is on at 3.
Mas Tequila!
It's like 10 a.m., dude, but all right. Classic rock and your favorite hits in the Top Rock Countdown on... Can you tell them, Sammy?
WIKB-FM, Iron River. We're back with Dr. Larry.
Welcome back. Isn't it ironic? No, I can't do it right. I can't sing, man. 21 days. Previously, I did a show where you had 21 days until we feasted for Thanksgiving. Turkey, mashed potato stuffing, warm apple pie, pumpkin pie, cherry pie, or any of the other fun stuff that catches the eye. Then I did a show, we had 14 days, and it presented an opportunity for you to get healthier. What? How did Thanksgiving equal healthy? No possible way. It did. And I told you how. You could have all the turkey with the trim and the mashed potatoes, drown in homemade gravy, swirl your corn and reach across and stab a green bean casserole. You could have all of that yummy, goody stuff. 6,300 calories, 2,000 calories in just treats and sweets. But really what I did was I leveraged the Thanksgiving feast frenzy that was coming to improve your health, to take the 21 days prior to cleanse. Now, it didn't have really anything to do necessarily with Thanksgiving. I just uses that kind of as a teaser for the show. You know, get your attention back then, which now Thanksgiving's over, so no way is that even as cool as a leverage tool. But I'm going backwards in time for you because this is a show on irony. So I created an outline, a framework. I called it the Common Sense Cleanse. It was kind of my little phrase for it to help you understand. And my whole family went through it, minus one. And we went through the whole thing, 21 days. Pretty strict with what we need to do. The kids kind of varied a little bit, but like we said, you guys can do it to the extent you want to. But Ma and Pa here have to kind of live by the letter of the law as far as the situation goes. And so we completed it. And here exactly is what it was. This is it. This is the only thing. 21 days, no animal products, no dairy, no caffeine, no alcohol, processed foods, no additives, preservatives, or sweeteners, artificial. You can have fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, nuts, and seeds. You can drink filtered water. You can drink sparkling water, spring water, and mineral waters. In fact, I bought, I think, all 3 of those. So that was it. That was the Common Sense Cleanse. And the conclusion, or the purpose, was to just give the body a chance to reset and get some things right, to shed some bad habits that we accumulate throughout time. I didn't save it for New Year's, by the way, too. It was another little ploy and a little tactic there, too, because, you know, you're going to get inundated in January with, I'm going to make this commitment. So also, I went against the grain a little bit as well, too. I took the biggest, huge day where we all just gobble, and I inverted it into do a common sense cleanse. But there was another underlying message or meaning for that as well too. I listen to people talk about their health all day long. I am not the guy that you go see to get information from or to seek out as far as a healthcare practitioner to help you out with these cleanses and stuff like that. As a lifestyle, been doing it for 30 years through trial and error. And then it kind of, as I go through those decades of life and trial and error, what I've seen is kind of the issue with people trying to get healthy is it becomes so complicated. You've got to, avoid this, do that, only have this at this time, only do this. And people get gung-ho, and then it fizzles and fades. So the longevity in maintaining a healthy lifestyle doesn't hold on because what is so simple becomes complex. And once it becomes complex, the simple is gone. How ironic. Or paradox. Maybe we can even include that again as well, too. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to leverage the fact it wasn't the new year, and we were going to come into the mega feast and kind of pique your interest to do something overall with high benefit for you in the most simplified way. To not only do it simple, but keep it simple and to give you exponential results. So at the end of it, and it wasn't a weight loss thing either, but you would lose weight. So you can see how some of the irony is tied in, woven in between this, and some of it's not ironic, but the whole underlying theme was that. So the reality is that the conclusion, all of us, my one daughter lost 7 pounds. I think on average it might have been 5 pounds healthy. So you figure 3 weeks was roughly 1.5 pounds a week on average per person, which if you look at the data out there, how much weight can I lose healthy? About 1.5 pounds a week if you're doing things right. None of us really starved. I would say I probably, even to one extent, maybe even overate on certain days because I was like, I'm hungry, I'm going to eat, and it's healthy, so I don't care. I wasn't calorie counting, so again, that whole calorie counting thing. Wasn't trying to avoid anything that wasn't necessarily on the list. So if I felt like I wanted grapes at 9:30 at night, I had grapes at 9:30 at night. So it wasn't like, oh, got to stop eating between this time and this time. And the result was 4 to 5 pounds loss, even on my end of things, of weight. So, but again, the intent wasn't to lose weight. Figured out what it was like to live without coffee, which I got to tell you, I'm appreciated to have the coffee back. Loved my coffee the first day after done with the cleanse there. But it was common sense. It was easy. You could tweak a couple things. Like one lady, she was asking me about it, and I said, you don't have to necessarily give up your coffee, but keep the simple like that. Here's the list. Avoid everything else. Remove distractions. Stick with that. 21 days. At the end of it, you're going to have some benefit, and it's going to be some lasting benefits as well, too. Shed bad habits, new habits. So rather than go off and go, okay, like I remember I had a class on fasting in healthcare way back in the day, and it was very complex. Like it was, okay, stool samples, getting labs pulled, and it was, and this isn't, by the way, this isn't to poo-poo all this. It's basically, that's one way to do stuff, and what I wanted to do is take the complexity, keep it simple, and maintain the simplicity of it. And that was the whole point, because I've heard how ironic it is that people just simply want to lose weight, but then they go through all these gyrations to get the weight loss, and it's just not successful. Or they just want to get their gut healthier, and they go through all these gyrations to get their gut healthier, and it just doesn't seem to work out. Or they want to, do a liver cleanse. Like a new lady, she did like a huge liver cleanse, and it was like, you got to slam like this castor oil 3 times a day, which once I told her that's kind of dangerous. Don't do that stuff. But she was doing some other things to purge her liver, and I was like, wow, my head was spinning. I'm like, just to get your liver cleansed, you're going to do all that? Well, yeah, I just want to simply cleanse my liver. I said, yeah, but you're making it a lot more complex than it needs to be. You can cleanse your liver in a more common sense, simplified way. So you'll cleanse your liver in 21 days with a common sense cleanse. You will cleanse your kidney. You will clean up some bowel problems as well, too. That was a situation in the house as well, too. Some bowel issues were restored. And all it takes is 3 weeks. That's it, 21 days following that. So taking the simple, keeping it simple, and not making it complex gave a very reasonable, simple solution. And that was the irony I was exposing when it comes to people searching for healthcare problems. And so if you're kind of following me along that equation, that's why I kind of intuitively chose that timeline, not at the first of the year, right up against a big feast day, and also didn't say, hey, by the way, you gluten-free people, you better watch out for this. Oh, go get a lab test for this. This is what you should do if you're really going to get cleansed. I eliminated all that and just kept it as simple as I could to give you and to expose the irony of how sometimes the most easy thing you want to do to get yourself healthy becomes so complex that it becomes unable to keep it simple. And so that's why I did that whole show for you as well, too. And I wanted to bring it back. I almost told my wife, I said, hey, I might do that whole show over again because it's important. Better than an adjustment that I could give you. Better than, some other components of things from, like fixing a herniated disc, although some people would disagree with getting a herniated disc fixed. It's pretty nice. But you get the point. It had far-reaching effects that are long-lasting that you can remember as well, too. You can walk away from what I just told you and go, I can follow that. I can do that, like this one lady who's having some weight issues and some other health issues. She's like, Dr. Larry, that's so easy. Anybody can do that. I go, you're right. Anybody can do it, and you can do it. Now, does it mean you could also add some things later? You could go maybe get some labs pulled or stool sample at a healthcare practitioner? Absolutely, yes, you could. No question about it. You can then take that and layer it and leverage it and go further with it. But the point was to set the foundation right so you get into the habit of getting healthier, which I know coming up. So now if you want to go back, we got about another month, and there's going to be a lot of resolutions coming through at you. I'm going to do this now because it's 2025. So now I hit you once before Thanksgiving, and I hit you once before January, right in the middle of all this, too, just to bring this topic back and hit the irony between all of it. So that's the show. How ironic. Okay, folks, coming up, a few announcements and our weekly tip and trick just around the corner. This is the Dr. Larry Radio Show. We'll be right back.
Dr. Larry will be back in a moment.
I can't count the number of clients who have come to me with a grocery bag full of supplements they are taking without knowing exactly why they're taking them. I know it can be confusing. I'm local master herbalist Karen Malinger, the Herb Gal. Let my 48 years of experience in herbal medicine help you make sense of it all. Call me today at 844-HERB-GAL or check out the website at herbgal.org and let's get better.
Radio is alive and well here in the UP, and we use it very, very frequently. Hi, my name is Lydia Nowitzki. I represent the Uper Dolls Ladies Disc Golf League. Advertising with WIKB has given us an opportunity to draw more sponsors for our tournaments and other events. It has also widened the knowledge of disc golf in this area. If you have a local event coming up, advertising through WIKB is the best way to get word out.
This is Scott from Crystal Falls, and you're listening to Dr. Larry Radio.
Does your financial advisor take the time to really listen to you? Is your financial strategy personalized to you and your family? Will your financial advisor be there as your life and financial situations change? When you work with Ryan O'Grady, your Crystal Falls Edward Jones financial advisor, he focuses on what's important to you. You work together and use an established process to create a personalized financial strategy, backed by the advice, tools, and resources to help you reach your goals. And you can partner long-term to help your strategy stay on track. Contact Ryan today at 906-875-3833. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Hello, baby! Sammy Hagar's Top Rock Countdown is Saturday nights on 99.1 FM.
Rockin' the up!
Actually, it's UP, Sammy, like Upper Peninsula.
Well.
Yeah, but anyway, tune in at 5 p.m. on Saturdays.
Oh, yeah.
For 2 hours of the Red Rocker counting down his favorite classic rock with themes like best album openers, best B-sides, best solo artists. Every week is something new.
Don't miss it.
And if you do miss it, the Sunday afternoon rerun is on at 3.
Mas Tequila!
It's like 10 a.m., dude, but all right. Classic rock and your favorite hits in the Top Rock Countdown on... Can you tell them, Sammy?
WIKB-FM, Iron River. Break's over. Time to get cracking once again with Dr. Larry.
Okay, a couple things before we wrap up the show and get to the weekly tip and trick. Earwax and ringing the ears. Lori LaFleur is going to be on the show, and it's coming up too. I do have this one in the books. Dr. Leschke from OSMS. He's a dual board certified neurosurgeon and neurologist and specializes in minimally invasive spine surgery and tackles stuff like spinal fractures, tumors, stenosis, spondylolisthesis, degenerative spine disease, pinched nerve, sciatica, and more. Does discectomies, laminectomies, decompression, fusion, interbody fusion, artificial disc replacement, which is important. Also, I'm going to have Dr. Bruning on at the same time, and we're going to go over injections, surgery, and chiropractic. I don't have quite the theme of the show totally organized yet. That'll be coming up, but that's going to be next month, so it's going to be a fun little 3-doctor roundtable. Then I'm going to interview Dr. Michael Tressler, board-certified orthopedic surgeon, did his training at Mayo, and kind of a well-known name. His dad was an orthopedic surgeon from back in the day as well, too. But interviewed him personally about a case I sent him on I'll just say a botched knee replacement. It's easier to say it that way. And bad case, he fixed it up. Lady's doing great. And she's also said she would make some comments, too, and come on the radio. Maybe. So I'm going to do some of this stuff, of course, pre-recorded, and then package it up. Reed will help out with the production stuff, make it all sound nice for your audio listening. So that's all coming up. I want to say a personal thank you for Rito Dorito, quietest man in radio. Keaton, she designs the layout for my radio syndication stuff, which we're working on that as well, too. Maybe in 2025, we'll get to that. Not a New Year's resolution, by the way. Trying to get on more radio stations. Love WIKB. Every radio person's got to have their home base, and it's kind of fun to be in the Upper Peninsula, and so we'll kind of hit the market a little bit and see what's out there. See if there's a little small to mid-sized town radio station that want to have Dr. Larry on their programming. Also, don't forget, you can advertise on my show right here in WIKB. You'll hear some of the sponsors come through. Speak with Mitch and get your ads on here. Of course, special thanks to OSMS, Jen Toivonen over at Whitewater, and Ryan O'Grady. Herb Gal, of course, which, by the way, she's my new office manager coming up next year as well, too. Karen Malinger is going to be anchoring my office. She's been working 3 days a week in my office, and she's got a resume that's unbelievable. Besides the stuff she does with her naturopath stuff and the herbal medicine, unbelievable. She was in the Navy and then did some stuff with just throughout the corporate career, so I'm excited to have her come on board at my office as well, too. And don't forget to check out my website, drlarryradio.com. You heard at the start of the show, you click the Join Free tab. This will put you on my email list, get you some free weekly updates on show topics. All of my shows, including the one you just heard today, will and are uploaded, past 100 now. After a week, there's a subscription price for that. You don't have to miss one show. So if you can't hear it, the ironic show, what he said, or that common sense cleanse, you don't have to miss any of it. You can log on, drlarryradio.com, hit the subscribe button. It's free for the first 7 days, and then it's just $7.99 per month after that. It's just a small subscription price. Kind of helps put a lot of time in, of course, the show, in addition to what I do at the practice. But the cool part about it is, as well, too, you can privately email me, and I'll respond to you during normal working hours and business week as well, too. So how about this? You like to save money in healthcare, and you know what your copays are, plus just getting to your doctor or healthcare practitioner, and you're like, if I just could ask this one question. And, of course, the portals and things like that, you get responses, but you can have an ability for just under $8 a month to email me a question, 2 questions you may have. I respond to you and follow up. So I expose the irony in healthcare. Come to us to help yourself out, and there's a fee for that, which ranges between what type of doctor you see. You got to get in your car, come see us. We spend our 15 minutes with you, 20 minutes with you, maybe an hour, and then you go home and you go, I wish I would ask that question. I've solved that riddle for you as well, too. So it's a tool for you to use, or not. But it's interesting sometimes, too, and this is kind of a broader discussion. We can have these solutions right in front of us, but do we act on them as well, too? So keep that in mind with the Common Sense Cleanse. Keep that in mind staying tuned on the show every single week. Keep that in mind when you check out my website, drlarryradio.com. I'm providing you tools, questions to ask, mechanisms, because of being in healthcare this long, seeing things that happen, and knowing the frustrations and trying to unlock those frustrations and get problems solved. There's one thing I guess I do that try to do every single day is solve problems for you as well, where I can see there can be fixed, or at least get you on the path to that. Or like somebody kind of coined, either Dr. Larry will help you or he'll tell you what to do or where to go. And that is absolutely true. It's one of those two things. And I would say in one respect, I always take one step backwards and go, not a chiropractor first, problem solver, irony exposer, no. And then how can I help this problem patient out? And the case that I started off with, I don't know which direction that case is going to go, but I started off with exposing the irony in his situation. And then from there, I went and did an examination, and now he's going to see a specialist. And from there, the specialist will let us know if what I potentially think is going on with this person's leg is going on. So that might turn into a show at some point down the road. But again, this is how it all starts. So I want to bring that kind of case as an example to launch into the show as well, too, because it translates in so many other aspects and other things I do, including, like I said, the show I did on a common sense cleanse, why I chose a certain time of year to do it. So there's some thought behind this, and I'm letting you know how I think. How about that? Not that it's always perfect. Not that I'm greater. I had so many constructive criticisms, almost made me cry. Oh, that Dr. Larry, he gets on the radio, he's just a know-it-all. Nope. It's actually how I got here. I'm not a know-it-all. In fact, I'm constantly asking questions, and that's how I get information out. But then I'll learn, and once I learn, I'll comprehend. And once I comprehend, then I'm going to try to become an expert on it, but still stay within my lane. So if it comes across as a little, I don't know, showy, doing the best I can to not show like that. But I got to do a radio show. Got to have a little animation for it. And I got to come at you from an expert opinion, and I'll let you know, too. I've come out. I've kind of when I made mistakes. There's been shows where I was like, nope, I couldn't figure this one out. But here's the reason why. Or this is what happened. So try to come across the board to be fair, common denominator. All right, Reed just flashed me what looked to be the minute signs. But if I was someplace else, it might have been something else. But he was giving me the minute signs. Reed, you ready for the tip and trick? I'm going to head up broadcast booth, center stage demo. You know the deal. Let's do it. Simple self-test for bursitis of the shoulder. Here it is.
All right, folks, here Dr. Larry. Currently, he's kind of feeling around his shoulder area underneath his jacket, and he's just kind of seeing what's wrong.
Good job, Reed. Reed didn't know this. He was talking in another room to two of his siblings, and I heard him. I go, man, that sounds just like me talking. Wait a second. He sounds that much like me? I don't always notice it. Now, right now, he kind of sounded like me a little bit. I didn't really realize how much we actually sound alike. But, Reed, good job. Simple self-test for bursitis of the shoulder. It's not a torn rotator cuff. It's this thing that feels like a chunk of sun burning underneath the front part of your shoulder. It's sometimes the back part of your shoulder. And what is a bursa? It's this sac that sits between muscles and bone. It provides support, cushion support, I should say. But when you use and abuse, or you just lay on your shoulder, sometimes that happens well too. We like side sleepers, us side sleepers out there. We wake up and we got this pain on the front of our shoulders. Rotator cuffs are fine. It can be bursitis of the shoulder. And as it happened in the case that I just sent out, a lady had neck pain and shoulder pain, and she asked my opinion. I said, I want you to go see this doc. She got an injection in her neck. She came back to me. She goes, okay, I'm feeling better, but that shoulder pain's still not gone. And I said, all right. So we took another look. I had a practitioner look at the MRI. He says, oh, okay, could be some bursitis in there. Let me do an injection, and whammo, he nailed it with an injection, and the bursitis is gone. So that's one treatment for it. There's others. Ice, TENS, stretches. There's things I can do in the office as well, too, with manipulation to kind of help ease some tension off the bursa. But that's your simple self-test for bursitis of the shoulder. Okay, folks, remember, you can listen to me live right here every week to learn how to achieve a better back and better health. Or if you're having a pain or problem, I'm here to help. My number at the office is 906-875-3215. Have a good day, boy, on the board, and I'll see you next week, everybody.